Hello friends, this is Cara-Renee with B.Reborn Art and Healing, coming to you with another tutorial. This is episode 1 of our Tip In series. So this is the first project that I am making in that series. I don't know how long it will be, but I will do one different idea every video. So let me just show you what it looks like. So it is a tip in from the side of a page. So this would be your signature page. So a page folded in half. This would be sewn into the spine, and then this is your tip in. And so it is gusseted, or it is, sorry, not gusseted, it is glued on. So it's over this side of the paper. And I did a decorative punch there just to make it interesting. I don't know if we'll do that on camera or not. This is my second take on this because the lighting was so bad in the other video that I'm like, I just can't do it again. So what I have going on, just a little bit of technical information, is I've turned my auto exposure back on. My autofocus is still off because it does that thing that people don't like. And so I've got some overhead lights over there, and on my glass mat they show. So I'm just going to put a piece of paper over that, and you can see there's a difference in the lighting just by that. Look at that. Boom. So that's what we're going to do. I might make something there that has my channel name or something cool on it, since it's going to sit there. So, and I don't usually use that part of the cutting board anyway. So sorry for that little segue. So I'm hoping that this is going to be 100% better. But anyway, on this one, this is not the first sample I did, but I have the flip out, and then I put a little corner pocket on it, and then I put a couple pieces of ephemera in there, and then we've got a pocket on the inside. So those are the two main features, is the flip, or the tip in or tip out, however you want to say it, and the pocket, and then 3 journal cards. And then you've got this writing space here. You potentially have writing space there, and you have writing space here, and then as well as on that ephemera. I didn't do anything with the front because I'll take care of that when I get ready to put it in the signature. So that's that. Made one for the Sunflower Fairy journal. This one has the tip in on the other side. So it tips in, that's why it's called a tip in, and it is also wrapped around this edge, which I thought turned out pretty nice. I think this is probably the last ephemera for the Sunflower Fairy journal as well. We'll see. Yeah, so it tips out that way, and then we've got a pocket and 2 journal cards. So you've got writing space, and then again, I could add more to the, the actual signature pages. Well, this I'd probably leave like it is, but I could potentially add something on that, maybe a vellum pocket or belly band or something. We'll see. This is another one. So this is for the keepsake / Little Woman featured journal that we're making. Tip in is off to the right. Pocket with 3 large journal cards. I did some stenciling some stamping, just to give a little bit of interest. I think this was the first one I made actually. And then so you've got again this writing space, and then I might do something else with the top of that, but not right now. And then I love this image. So all of the Little Women kits that I'm going to be using in this video, as well as, or what I'm showing you here, and the future that I purchased so far are already linked. And the link to the blog is in the description box. And then this is the one I tried to make on camera, and it went south. And it was so fun. So this is the Pink Monarch Prince October bundle kit. It is $34.99 on Etsy because it's 55 pages. It's a huge kit, well worth the money. But I am a premium gold member on their website, and so I pay $14.99 a month. And so I get the monthly kit, and then I think the extra thing here is there's some kind of a folio or something but it's not in these colors or anything, so it's something completely different. So I didn't really, I grabbed it, but I probably won't really use it. I've decorated this a little bit, made a little pocket with some of that ephemera. I've got 4 little cards in here, which I thought was really cute to just make that into a little tuck. I love these papers so much. I was really excited to do this one on camera, but again, it did not go well. And then we've got 3 journal cards, and these are all linked. Will be linked over on the blog. So let's get to the one we're going to make together. And again, that front of that could be decorated at the time of the putting it in the signature, putting the journal together. Additionally, as far as the lighting, like it is pitch black outside. It is 8:18 at night. So I think this is going to do it. I'm hopeful. I'm really hopeful, guys. I'm hoping that the auto exposure is working fine. I did try to go back to doing the autofocus, but it just does this. It's ever so slight, but it's annoying. So, and I know it bothers people, so I don't want to put you all through that. So I do aim to please as much as I possibly can. I don't want people to be irritated. Okay, so this is the template. So as you know, I do like to provide these. So I've just constructed it with the tip in on the right. The tip in measures 5.5 by 7.5. The pocket is 4 inches tall by 5 3/4 inches wide, and that's allowing for a 1/4 inch gusset on all 3 sides. And then I'm just indicating that my journal pages are 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. That being said, this could be altered to fit any journal. You would just change all of your dimensions and you'd be good. So some of these are papers from the Little Women kits. And then these ones here, let me get unburied here. These ones are the Ephemera, and they're from the Little Women kit. Oh, this one goes in there. And then this kit, sorry, I'm bumbling. I've been struggling with the studio lighting and technical things most of the afternoon. So it's late at night and I go back to work tomorrow and it's like, so these are all papers from My Porch Prints. They're from the Keepsake kits. I have linked that over on the blog, but I'm only linking one kit because there's an add-on kit, and then there's a main paper pack kit, and then there's fussy cuts. So they're all separate. So once you find the kit, you can select those other ones as well if you want to. So that's what we've got going on. So this is the journal page, and I'm thinking that I want to go this way and have this be the outside. I have not quite decided because when you put a pocket on, so let's say, I think this was my pocket, which wouldn't be horrible. I might actually do that. I kind of like that contrast. I like that that look. So we'll think about that a moment. So this is our pocket. This is a card. This is the flip. And then I've got a whale tail tab for it as well. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my trimmer. I forgot to bring everything over because I literally just decided I would go ahead and try to do this evening because I was so ahead. And then with all the techie difficulties, I was like, I think I'm going to put something that can stick there so it doesn't move around, and put something with my logo or something on it. Maybe my little swirly watercolor paint picture. So there we go, because that's probably going to have to come over a little bit. So the journal page, my journal pages measure 8 1/4 by, or 5 1/4 by, 8 1/4 by 10 3/4. So let me show you that just so you believe me. Right there, 10 3/4. So 10 3/4 inches total width. Now, that makes them, gosh, I keep moving that. I'm so sorry, guys. That makes this 5 1/4 by 8 1/4. I'm just lining that up, giving that a crease. I'm going to grab my bone folder. It was ill prepared tonight. Okay, so there is our journal page, and we will be inking that up and rounding some corners in a moment, but I'll put that aside for now. Let's work on our flips, so our tip in. So the tip in measures, let me just bring this back over for you so you can see, is 7.5 inches tall, 5.5 inches wide, and it has a 1/2 inch flap. 5.5. Let's see. Let's just do that. Okay. So I'm going to score that. Okay. And we're not done with that. So that is ready as well. So I'm just going to bend that over and it will be good to go for the next step. But I'm going to get all of our scoring and cutting out of the way. So that is our flip. And then our pocket, we want to, you want to decide which is your top. So obviously these flowers are going up. So I'm going to score this side, and this side at 1/4 inch. So let me do that really quick. I think that's all we need the cutter for. So I'm going to get that out of the way. And I'm going to go ahead and miter these corners, which is just to allow you to remove some of that bulk by cutting out that square, basically. And I cut it at a little bit of an angle. And then, oops, that's not quite right. And then I also like to clip up here so that that is also not showing in the pocket. You would not have to do a gusseted pocket. I just like the opportunity, the option of putting several things in the pocket if I choose. So, and they do hold quite a bit when you do this gusset. So I've been doing that most of the time now. So as of today is Sunday the 5th, and you guys would have seen Beloved Beauty Monthly. That was such a fun video. I've been putting it off because I don't want to really do it when I'm really late in the month. So I always opt, if I miss out, to just go ahead and combine 2 months. And it did. It felt really good to talk with you all and share a little bit about what's going on and, you know, some of the personal things, and because, you know, we're all humans and it's good to not feel alone. So I'm grabbing my pencil. I'm trying to find my center. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we want to be 2.5 in, 1, 2.5, right? 2.5. Yeah. And I'm just going to grab my circle punch here. And I'm going to go ahead and do a thumb notch there. You don't have to. Sometimes I like thumb notch on my pockets, sometimes I don't. That's totally up to you. So now that we're at this stage, I'm going to take a moment, I'm going to ink all this, and I'll be right back. Actually, no, before I do that, let's go ahead and round the corners so that you can see what I'm thinking. So I want to round the corners on this, this flap. So let me turn it over so you can see it a little bit better. And I'm going to round at the 7mm on this part because it's not very big. Okay. And then I'll probably do the 10mm on the other parts. So, okay. And then, yeah, and then, sorry, I keep flipping this around. 10mm here, 10mm here. And then what I like to do with the pocket, I'm not going to round the edges of the pocket, but I'll show you how I get around that funny look. And then on this one, I'm just going to round the outside corners. So these two. Uh-oh. Okay. And then I'm going to take a moment and ink all this up, and I'll be right back. Okay, so while I ink the little pocket here, I just wanted to chat with you a sec. So I recorded the Beloved Beauty Monthly this morning and then put it right up on the channel as when it was done processing. And I was talking in there about how, you know, things are so different with the family and people are busy and everybody has their lives. And, you know, my daughters live close by, but they have their busy weekends and things, you know. But the two boys, Tina's two boys came over today. The older boy, Tanner, came over because Papa was asking for some help with the sun. He had to remove the sun window out of our kitchen ceiling and so he could seal it. And so Tanner came over and Josiah came with him. And it was so cool to see them just, you know, in the middle of the day. And then we took off and went for a bike ride. Tim and I did, and that was lovely. We did, we did 6 miles. So, whoo, yay! I've got a good start on this goal. I forgot to grab my glue, so let me grab that. So, there we go. I feel like the light is so much better. Oh, so much better. Okay, so now what one needs to decide is, do you want to do this? Okay, I almost really like that. No, it's upside down. Don't do that. So you could go like this and have it be on the inside with the tea stain paper, which I like that idea because then you've got this writing space that could carry over to the space that's above the pocket. But let me show you what it would look like if you went the other direction. So let's say we went this way. Well, that would be dumb. No, we don't want to do that. Don't pay any attention to me. So what we're going to do here is we're going to put this flip on, but we're going to come down. It's probably about 1/4 of an inch from the bottom here. So you can see here, because I rounded this, but I did not round this, we're going to come up a little ways. So that's going to be just fine. So I'm going to put my glue. I think I'm actually going to use my Fabri-Tac because it's just a lot surer, you know. Okay, so I'm going to put Fabri-Tac here all along that flap. That was the word I was looking for. The flap of our tip in. And then I'm going to, again, go, well, I'm going to kind of turn this. I hope you guys don't mind. I'm going to turn it like this so that I can, again, get this even-ish, because I don't want, I kind of do want it even top to bottom. Actually, I don't. I'm going to have it be taller at the top because I only want it to clear the pocket on the bottom, which will make more sense in a second. So I'm just going to close that and make sure that it's nice and tight up against that edge. On one of my samples, I did not get it butted up there close enough, so you can do that. Oh, that's bad. Come on, get in there. Get in there. Okay. Yeah. So cool. Look at that. I love it against the tea stain paper, but I just love this tea stain paper, and it is from Ruby and Pearl. I use it all the time. I have it saved on my desktop because it's my favorite background paper to use. And it's from her Beautiful Birds kit, in case you're curious. So I don't want this to go clear down here because I did not round that corner. So I'm going to go up just a smidge, okay? And we're going to glue that pocket on. So I've got that all set up. I'm going to use my white glue for this. This is Sunday. This video will go up on Wednesday. I already have 3 more projects, the templates already made, so I'm getting ahead of the game because, as I mentioned in my Beloved Beauty Monthly, I really want to do some watercolor, hopefully this week. But my computer's also a mess, like my filing system. I had created this idea where I take a screenshot of every digital that I purchase and put it in a binder, and I'm super behind. And I haven't filed all my kits away electronically, so I'm like, it's getting hard to find things again. So I need to spend some time on that, but we'll see. Okay, so that is that. Boom. Boom. I love that. I love that as the front. So now we've got a couple of cards. So I'm going to take a moment and I'm going to round the corners of these. So I've got basically 3 cards to go in there. So I'm going to round them and ink them, and I'll be right back because I want to hopefully do a little bit of decorating as well. As I was doing this inking, I was remembering that I have an old Little Woman book. It would be fun to maybe do a collage masterboard or some collage, use some book pages in collage form and introduce some of the words and the verses and things from the books. I just remembered that as I was sitting here. Okay, I do also have a whale tail punch, so I cut that earlier. So let me just ink that up as well. And I'm going to dig out my boxes so you can see what we have to choose from for ephemera for this paper. Okay, so there is that, and it's going to go on the largest card, which is this one. And I'll show you a close-up of these images because they're really pretty. They're all a little bit different. They don't really go together necessarily. I mean, some of them are from the same kit, I think, but this is from the My Porch Prints keepsake kit, but the rest of them are not. So I'm just lining that up at the top, and I'd like to turn it over and then scooch it over until I feel like it's a little bit more in the middle. And that will go in there. It's a little narrow, Cara-Renee, and a little short. What did you do? Oh no, this is the one it's supposed to go on. Oh well, that's all right. That's all right. This one is actually bigger. I forgot that I did that. So, oh no, but it's not, now it's too tall because I raised the pocket. So let me just cut a little bit off the bottom, and then I'll re-ink and re-round those edges really quick. Okay, so that's going to go behind. It doesn't really matter. this can stick up still. And then one more here. So let me grab the ephemera containers. Hopefully I have them sorted correctly. So we've got this one, and then we've got some of these from Pink Monarch Prints might go well as well. So they are very interchangeable. This is a watercolor clip art kit that I purchased, so I thought these would be really fun as well to use for decorating and for in the pockets. So I printed them on tea stain paper because otherwise they're just a white background. So let me see if there's anything here that looks like it would be good for decorating. I need something smallish, so these are probably not going to suit me. No, not today. So let's look at the My Porch Prints ephemera first. Some of this is just generally cut out, but it's not completely cut out. So let me just fish through this and select some things, and I'll be right back. I think I found a few things. These are not all from My Porch Prints. Some of them are from some of the Little Women kits. So like this image here, this lady, I don't know which one of them she is because I don't know the story. I don't remember the story very well. I'll probably get it on Audible and listen to it because I always like to do that when I'm creating a journal that's in that, you know, on that story. Like I did that with Anne of Green Gables and I loved it. Still listening to it, but it was very inspirational to be listening to that while I was creating a journal on that theme. So let me just finish cutting these out and I will be right back. So kind of cutting these as I go makes me not completely hate fussy cutting. If I sit for hours doing this kind of really finicky fussy cutting, I get really frustrated. So I don't know if we're going to use them all. I'm not going to use the green butterfly. I've decided on the purple. Now this is too tall for that pocket, so I thought maybe we could put her down here. I would love to have something to separate that out. So let me just check, you know how I like to do that. See if there's anything in here that I could make work for that. This is not even, some of this is the My Porch Prints stuff. Let me see if there's something in here that might work. This is the Pink Monarch Prints. So their ephemera, randomness. This is a different kit though. This is not, I don't know how much of this I'm going to actually use. You know, I did use it in on one of the projects recently. Let's see what colors we have going on here. I don't think this stuff is going to work either. So we're not going to be able to do, except I could maybe use that black. Let's use that black strip. Yeah. I'm just going to cut that really quick as well. Use that to make a dividing on that pocket. I just really like that look. Of course, you don't have to do that. You can decorate however you choose. I'm just doing what I like. Okay. Yeah, that's a good separator. So we're going to put that up there. And I'm going to mark that. Okay. Give that a little snip. Snip, snip, snip. And a little bit of ink. Feeling really good about my bike ride today. It wasn't like a, you know, it was a moderate ride. Like we had some hills and stuff and I did them. So like, yeah, not too bad for an old lady. Getting old lady, you know. We went to this place where there's supposedly like a troll place and a like little fairy place, but we couldn't find it this time. My husband's been, but I've never seen it. So I'll have to try that again. Okay. Where did our girl go? Oh, there she is. So now we need to take off part of the bottom of her because she's too tall. So I'm going to try to get that so that the oval is straight. Okay, as much as I can, and I'm going to make a pencil line pretty much along the bottom of that vignette look of her dress. So I'm just going to make a pencil line all the way across and just trim that off. and ink it up. Kind of looks like an egg. Yeah, that'll go right there. Perfect. I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac though, because that glue, white glue, is giving me a little bit of trouble. And that way you can move it. You have a little bit more freedom to move it. Okay. I'm just going to try to put her down right underneath that divot and try to get her even-ish if I can. I don't strive for perfection though. Oh, that's so pretty. While I'm thinking of it, I'm going to grab the words too. They're in a different bin here. I've got 2 bins for the keepsake journal because I'm trying to keep the kits separated a little bit so that I can tell you where I'm actually getting the stuff. So we've got some beautiful quotes in there, and I think I want this butterfly to go with her. Just give a little bit of ink, just cover up those white bits that I didn't necessarily do a great job of fussy cutting. I always cut the tentacles off. I didn't have the patience for that. That's really pretty. I want some cheesecloth, so give me just a sec. There's some. It's like, where is it when you need it? It's just a tiny little ball in my basket. So this is that one that's super fluffy. Fluffy like snow. So we're just gonna let that butterfly be on it. Just make it kind of interesting. It's pretty thin, so I think I can just bunch that up and then put the butterfly on top. I'm just going to put some glue right there. Yeah, just like that. Okay, our butterfly. Some glue. Put that right there. Oh, that turned out so pretty. Look at that. Simple, simple ephemera too, which I love. So I thought it would be fun to put a little bit of something here. So maybe the books. What do you think about the books? I don't know. I'm inclined to put it over here. So let me just think about that while I ink these up. And we'll just about be done. Just doing one today. That's my goal, is to do all of my work ahead of time and then just do one on camera. But I also really love this. Maybe this will go on the inside. Let me ink that up as well. So if you kind of flatten it out, you can get most of that white to go cream so it doesn't look so bold when you have that edge around the whole thing, which I don't care for. I don't have one of those fancy machines because I've tried it before and they steal all my joy, so I get rid of them, sell them. There we go. I love that. Love that. So I think we'll put that one here because this can still be really great writing space. So what do you think of that? No. Let's just put it down. Not on anything. I'm going to put it over here. Just right button up into that corner a little bit, right to flat to the bottom there. I love it. That's risky, so let me grab a piece of paper because with my luck it'll stick. So I'm just going to grab this until everything is nice and dry, and then I think I want to put this here just like, well, you know what, if I do that though, I won't be able to do anything else with this, which is not a problem per se. Or we could put it over here. I think I'm going to opt, for some reason I'm feeling like I shouldn't put it on there. And maybe my future self knows I want to do something else with that. So we'll go with that. And then we'll just put this over here. Some books in the corner. Boom. that is it, my friends. That is our project for today. I forgot the word. Let's do that really quick. Sorry. I've got all these great quotes. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step. The mind is everything what you think you become. Believe you can, and you're halfway there. When you have a dream, you've got it. You got to grab it and never let go. I love that one right there. Let's do that one. Let's do it. I couldn't really find, there was some digitals that had quotes, but they had weird images and stuff with them, and I didn't really care for that, so I didn't purchase those, but you totally could. Oh, and I like that black and black is going to tie that together as well. Do we want it up here? Or down here? I think down at the bottom. Let's finish this off. I gotta get ready for bed. It's going on 9 o'clock. I don't film usually at night, but I needed to do this tonight. I could have waited until tomorrow, but I wanted to test out the new lighting idea when it's completely dark outside and it's pitch black, 9 o'clock. So I am going to say goodbye for now. Thank you guys for stopping by. Let me know what you think of the lighting. Does it look better to you? How does the focus look? Does it feel like things are sharp? Again, the autofocus is still off, but the auto exposure I turned back on. So I'm hoping that that's going to give us what we want here. I thought about filming with my phone, but if I put my phone up in here, then I have no way to see what I'm doing. So I don't want to do that. That's like going backwards in time for me. When I had a ghetto setup where I had to get up on my table and look. Sorry, I'm pointing. I had to look down through my camera to see where I was, and I had to tape off my area. So I don't want to go backwards. So I'm not going to do that. Okay, that is it, my friends. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care. Bye-bye.